Welcome back everyone to Missions 102, where today we have reached Allegiance level 24, which means that we have unlocked another mission from Prince Ingor.
A group of Dourhands has come to Vernazon.
Well, that's never good. We could not send those Dourhands elsewhere, as it is now the way of the Joruka to be kind to all dwarves in Gundabad. I ask that you cater to them as much as is advisable, but also to keep an eye upon them. I do not entirely trust these newcomers. Well then, you've got a point there. Always some trouble with the dreadful Dourhands.
Be careful.
Remember to be friendly with these Dourhands. I do not want any unpleasant incidents in my hall, Pine Seed. Be careful. But I notice we have raging here. So that's not going to be completely careful whatever's going on here. Here are the three dreadful Dourhands that I am to aid, or at least watch. Ah, what a nice haul you and the Joruka have! We've heard about the rules here. You have to greet us as kin and make us feel almost welcome. Ha ha! I say then, give us a proper welcoming. We've been traveling for so long. Look at our axes. They're dull as an unfavorable hobbit. Give our axes a polish, will you? Really? Personally, I think that a fish slap would be more in order for these guys. I'm hoping that I get to do that's right. I don't think this character has a fish slap emote. Well then, so much for that idea. What do you gotta say about that? Hmm. These are marked sharper. Yes, we feel a little more welcome. Now, what about some drink? We have been traveling for so long, we are parched. Our throats are dry as the brown lands. Bring us some ales, will you? Really? I wonder, how much does the fish slap emote cost now? Hmm. Well, unfortunately, I don't know where the odds that I get away with that. Is this the way to get the fresh ales? I guess I just by instinct went to the kitchen area, but of course that's the wrong place. Ah, there's a keg right over here. I think they should have had a second keg near the kitchens just in case someone thought it was a good idea to go all the way there. But that's just my opinion. Oh, there are. What? They're each getting a full keg? Well, maybe the kegs are near empty or something like that. Where's the second keg? I guess they decided to put the kegs near the places where dwarves are working because these are near the woodworkers. The other one was near the metal workers. I suppose that makes some sort of sense. Now, let's deliver these and find out what insult they have for me now. Ah, these ales quench our thirst indeed. Now then, it is so quiet in here. Where is the liveliness? Come, dance with us as we drink some more. Dance. Good. What fun! Ha 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 ha! Oh boy. Really? Should I tell these guys that since the previous clip I bought the fish slap emote so that I am ready for them when they betray me? All this drinking and dancing has made us hungry. Bring us some food or I will start complaining loudly about how unwelcoming you are to great dwarf explorers. Now these have to be at the kitchen, right? right? That can explain why the ales weren't at the kitchen area, because perhaps the food is. Because food, logically, would be in this area, right? Unless, of course, they had some convenient places for food for when the workers were on break, which is probably the case. Here's one plate right between the ales. So how about if I check the other location where we had ales and see if there are two food locations there? And the answer to that is yes, that is the case. All right. And here's I'm still wondering when they're going to cross the line. We will have to see. We shall have to. We're, with my luck, they'll eat the fish that I was going to slap them with. Bah! You call this food? Darhan looks about you and speaks very loudly. The Jorukas seem to know nothing about cooking a proper meal. I've eaten better food in a goblin's camp. Ooh. He finally earned it. Okay, they earned it a long time ago, but now I finally... Okay. A moment, Dourhands! Or what is this? He looks angry. Better not be at us. What gives you the right to offend hospitality? To come to our home and treat us all with disrespect? At the very least, do you have to be so loud? Last I checked, no one owns Gundabad. Bite your tongue, Dourhands. Or what? Were you IV scolded for your sorry prince? I'm very worried. Enough. How dare you speak ill of Prince Ingor? Prepare to fight! I've already prepared, fool! Ugh! You forget to specify whether the fight would be fair! No, off with you! Now what, our helpful servant Hobbit not approve? No, I don't. So be it! Axes at the ready! This is what you get for disobeying hospitality rules. There you go. Oh, and another one of those to boot. I should slay you all right now! Do not step down to their level, my prince. I beg you. I am fine and will recover.
It would be too easy to cut down each one of these sad excuses for a dwarf.
If you were not a trusted ally, Pine Seed, there would be blood on this floor today. Remember that, Dourhands. Now go. Leave Vernazol and never come back. If I see you again, I will not hesitate to raise my sword. Heed my word as Prince Ingor of the Joruka. Yes. Oh, before I finish the quest, if I'm gonna pay for it, I might as well get some use out of it. Alright, I'm ready. Leave my sight and never return! Right. Let's get out of here.
Aha! The beast is no more.
Did these Dourhands come to test my resolve? I have not the time for such fools when the fate of my people still hangs upon the decisions each day. So much for that lot.
Good riddance to those Dourhands. They certainly overstayed their welcome.
I believe everyone was glad to see them off. The Hall of Vernazal is not a filthy inn, suitable only for drunken revelry, but a great beacon of Gundabad reclaimed. Yes. Now, while he didn't make a request, I suppose I should do a mission. Which one should I try? It looks like I'm to deal with some wargs and some Agnerim. Speaking of wargs, we got some right there. Poisonous wargs. Oh yes, those things. And that is the twist to this particular one. Poison. I think this one works well with the right hand rules, so that is what I follow whenever I do this mission. And of course, get rid of the cripple. Though, of course, I think it's the Angrim who have most of the poison, despite the title of the wargs. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that when I did the initial run through on that. There we go. Though the last time I did this, that was a cold run, meaning it was my first attempt at it. So this one I've done it several more times, both on this character and on other characters. There we go. Now let's deal with these. Oh, speaking of Angrim, there is one right over there. Oh, see, I'm supposed to kill 4 Angrim. Alright. I think all the Angrim are the warg breeders. I think it's just maybe a couple extra Angrim hanging around or something like that. So I think getting all the Angrim, of course, is absolutely no problem. Oh, but we do have war cages to worry about. And I think the war cages move around from run to run because it looks like every time I come through here, they're in a slightly different position. So I presume that there are locations that are potential spots for cages, and that he poisoned me, and that they randomly select 10 of them to be the cages for that particular run. Oh, at least 10 of them. I can't remember if there are extra ones that are in there. I think there's no trouble finding all the cages once they're in there. It's not like you could easily miss these. I've had some occasions for some missions where they move around, and either they move around or they're in such bad spots that even if they didn't move around, I still keep on forgetting where they're at. For example, the one where you have all those... The Lost Expedition. I have a lot of trouble finding those pickaxes. There's usually 1 or 2 places where the pickaxes are where I feel like I take half an hour just trying to find those things. That's how bad it can be there. So I really need work on that one. But this one, simple right-hand rule works. Oh, that's right, because the Lost Expedition is also an outdoors one, which makes it a little bit tougher to do something like right-hand rule with, since you're not exactly in a place where it's easily remembered in that manner. So you think in an open area you should be able to find everything, right? Apparently not. And it looks like I got all sorts of poison on this one. Let's see. Well, let's get rid of that one. Between the serious wound and the poison, I presume... Alright. Said resist on there. Whoa, does it put on a secondary one? I was thinking that because there was a timer on it that it would only go off if it were in combat. Maybe I should do something like read the text on it. Well, that's an empty area. That's unusual. Alright, so let's go this way. This work is going to go down easily. Now, unfortunately, actually, nah, it won't let me fish slap the warg. Okay, oh well, it was worth a check. Can you fish slap the warg? Maybe it keeps on interrupting me and won't let me do the emote. Let's try it again. Maybe because I've got the... Oh, right. Because I'm in combat, it puts out the message to say that I slapped it, but it doesn't actually do the emote because I'm too busy using my weapons. Alright, I guess that makes sense. All right, there are at least 11 cages. So at least that answers the question on whether, actually, usually I have to get all the way down to this room here. Actually, no, that's the entrance. Yeah, so that was the last one. So it looks like they have 11 of those. Good work, Pine Seed! With the Agrim Warp Pins properly disrupted, let's return and report our success right. Now this mission, I certainly know where everything is because it's pretty straightforward. All the mobs are at specific locations, and the forges are all at specific locations. So it's not one that you have to worry about finding anything is. And even the first time you do the mission, you won't have too much trouble, I think, finding everything. Just clear out the mobs on top, go to the bottom, clear those mobs out, and you'll be done. And sometimes I only do two of the drakes downstairs because the drakes are, there are 6 drakes that you need to kill, and there are 8 drakes in all, and they're recessed in the back. Now the biggest trouble I have with this one is sometimes the mission end doesn't click on when I get back to the entrance, so I have to do a little jiggling there in order to do it. And I do wonder if perhaps that might be by skipping drakes or something like that. So what I'll do is this time I will do all the drakes and then go to the entrance and see what happens there, because a little experimentation is in order, I think, for this. Hello? And now this takes care of everything upstairs, I think, because that'd be 4 and 4. So now let's head on. Oh. Alright. After all this time, I finally figured out that the easiest way to handle that is just to turn down the stairs. I think I've always made that more complicated than it was. Or at least than it needed to be. Now, I guess we might as well do 1 forge, 1 mob, 1 forge, 1 mob. Let's try that little pattern. It's different from how I usually do it. Usually what I do is... Actually, this thing's so close here, I guess it won't be quite that way. I guess I'll do that. So I guess it's going to be mob, forge then. Because what I did the last couple of times I've done it is just go around, take care of all the frost grims. Then after doing all the frost grims, grab a couple of the drakes, or maybe catch a couple of drakes as I go around. I don't think I was doing it consistently in any manner. And that's the last drake that's mandatory by the quest itself. But as I said, I am trying to experiment, see what happens relating to the exit. So this is number 4. And number 5. It looks like we've got all of the... Hello! All of the mandatory mobs, so I don't really technically have to worry about mobs except for what... Now, what are we supposed to be doing with these Kudzul tablets? Because I got a drop of a Kudzul tablet right there, and I would think that such tablets are... Oh, well, that's the danger of this particular mission, is the gnawing cold thing. Though you would think that with all that molten metal over there that I would be able to stay warm, right? Shouldn't that warm me up, give me a soothing warm buff on there so that I could get rid of the gnawing cold? That's what I think. But so much for that. And oh, that was the last of those. So I just have one more forge and I'll be done. Good, that is 8 for 8. Now, it says regroup at the entrance to the cave. It's not exactly what I would call a cave. It's more of a smithing hall, but alright. Now, let's sit over here. Now, the other hypothesis I had is maybe I just had to get close to here. Alright. That might be more to the point then. We are done! Yes, let's return and report our success. Now, I'll just have to wait here for 10 seconds since these bonfires are nice to give us a soothing warm buff. Though occasionally an elf will just pop up on top of us. Well, that's it for this episode of Missions 102, where we managed to deal with some Jobruka and learn how to fish lap. But that's it for this episode, and we'll see you again for the next chapter in Missions 102.